Hello everybody, and today I'm back with another 2024 election prediction video. In this video, I will be predicting the 2024 election between former governor and ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, and against Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. I'm going to start off with the safe states, as they are the easiest, and I'm not going to be going specifically into margins. So the safe states, obviously, are as follows, pretty much. I'm actually going to leave Connecticut out of it because I do think it could be slightly closer, Connecticut and New Jersey, than states like New York. I think Haley could do somewhat better in the suburbs, and I don't really know how well Sanders would do in the East Coast area. But the rest are obviously safe Democratic states, safe Republican states for Haley, are as follows. And these are really just the regular safe Republican states. I'll include South Carolina, obviously her home state, and obviously Vermont and Maine first are safe Democrat states. So let's get to likely Republican states. That'll be Iowa and Ohio, states Trump won by a significant amount. I think Haley can continue that streak of Republicans performing well in those states and performing well in those areas of the country. There's rural suburban areas. I do think Haley has a good appeal there, and I do think she can carry those states by similar margins. I also think she'll win not Maine second, Nebraska second by a really good margin. I don't think Sanders would do particularly well in the suburban areas. And obviously, that is Haley's strong suit. And being the second congressional district in Maine as a suburban area, Haley will do pretty well there. And that is all for likely Republican states. Now, for likely Democrat states, we're going to go with Colorado and New Mexico. I'm not going to include Virginia, obviously, and Connecticut and New Jersey. I'm not going to include Virginia yet just because it is a suburban area. I do think Haley is going to make it closer with her appeal, and I do think she does have a good shot at the state, or a better shot than she would with Colorado and New Mexico. Now, for leans Republican states, let's get to those. That'll be North Carolina, Florida, and Wisconsin, and Maine second. All these are lean states. I think Wisconsin is going to continue its trend to the right, as it has been doing so for the past 8 years. At this point, we're at 2024, where Obama won it by about 7 points, then Trump won it by 0.7, then Biden won it by 0.5. So shifting significantly back to the Republican side, and if it's going to be a referendum year, then it will go back to the Republicans probably by about 1.5%. Haley will end up winning Wisconsin. North Carolina, Florida, it'll be similar margins to 2020 with Trump. And shifting demographics. Obviously, Latinos actually voting for Republicans in higher margins in Florida than they have in the past. Now, for lean Democrat states, Maine at large and New Hampshire, both states that Sanders does have an appeal to. Haley also does. These are northeastern states that give Sanders the boost. Just obviously being labeled a socialist isn't going to help him too much. I don't know, and I do think it'll be slightly close, but it'll still go to Sanders. This is in addition to Nevada, which he'll win by a lean margin, as well as Minnesota, which he'll win by a lean margin, and finally Virginia, which he'll also win by a lean margin. Haley will make Virginia a bit closer, maybe 5 to 6 points. Actually, not 5 to 6 points, 4 to 5 points, but Sanders will end up taking Virginia. Now let's get to the final tilt states. Tilt Republican is Texas. Texas will remain in the Republican column for the 2024 election, at least one last time in the Republican column, as it will stand. Still trending to the left, Haley will cling on to Texas. Another tilt Democrat state, Michigan. This state is going to take the longest out of the three. I mean, out of the four, it's the second longest of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania of the Rust Belt states. But it has trended the slowest out of the three main ones in 2020. In 2020, Biden won it by about 2.5%, which was significantly greater than he won Wisconsin or Pennsylvania by. And it will barely stay in Sanders' column, maybe by about 0.5%. So let's get back to tilt Republican states. A tilt Republican state, I'm going to give Haley the state of Georgia. I think she'll perform very well in the Georgian suburbs. I think with Trump campaigning there, he'll do well. I do think Georgia could tilt back in the Republican column, and that could help Haley out very, very significantly. And I do think Georgia could tilt back to the Republicans, at least for 2024. And we'll see what happens as we proceed and progress. So we're down to the final two states. These states are obviously going to decide the 2024 election. and I'm going to have Nikki Haley carrying both Arizona and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania by a tilt margin. Sanders actually does have somewhat of a Rust Belt appeal. I mean, it's not anywhere close to a Trump appeal or even a Biden appeal, but it is an appeal. It's like a working class appeal, if you want to consider it that. But I do think with the trends, with the fact that I do believe if Trump's campaigning for Haley, uh, Sanders obviously opposed to fracking, it will not bode well for him in Pennsylvania. Haley will finally flip it back to the Republicans again in 2024, which would be a big win for the Republicans and Nikki Haley. And in Arizona, suburban area, I do think the Republicans will actually gain more Hispanic voters in 2024, following the trends, and I think that Haley could gain Arizona back. Same reasons as Georgia, really, and I don't really think Sanders has the biggest appeal to Arizona voters. I think his appeal really is to that northeastern base in Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, and slightly the Rust Belt, and obviously the West Coast. I don't see him having that much of a national appeal. Obviously, still a close election due to the polarization, but Nikki Haley ends up winning it. Let me just show you the new map that would be drawn out if this is the actual result of the election. Haley would win it by 22 electoral votes over. But this is the final map. 292 votes for Nikki Haley, 246 votes for Bernie Sanders. I'm going to probably finish the video now. Please subscribe if you're interested. I have made tons of 2024 election predictions, and I hope to make more, and hope that you guys can subscribe and turn on notifications and continue watching the videos because I really like making them. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I hope to see you in later videos. Make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.